The whole freaking day. Exit out of this. I'm gonna go grab a soda. I need to boot the game back up with not the Total Tavern map pack. I'll allow people to gather briefly. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'll take the photo. I'll leave the Photoshop up so people who are joining can see the pretty lights. So we need Scandinavia versus USA. Bam. Gotrek, Starbreaker, Flying Taco, Ryder, Rohan, Stratgame, and Turin. Yes, that Turin. I'll return in a moment. Got him. Delicious. Fake sugars and caffeine straight into my veins. Straight into my veins! Why is the Demon's Chaos banned? Patrick, I'll get to that in just 1 second, sir. Delicious. Fake Okay. Hey everybody, again, most of you have been here for most of the streams today as we are rocketing through them, but for people in VODland who don't know what's going on, welcome to the World Cup. We asked various peoples of various nations to create 5-man teams and sign up for this tournament. There was a bracket that was just up briefly. Boom. We are up here with Team America versus Scandinavia. Scandinavia did 5-0. Spain won, so they are off to a hot start. But they have to fight Team America, who was given a bye round because I considered them to be very powerful. All the teams that got a bye round, Team America, Russia won, Switzerland, and Mexico, and France. Those were all given bye rounds because just looking at their players and using common sense, they are a very scary team and they are tournament favorites. So this is our first stream, I believe, casting one of the tournament favorites. It's Gotrek, Starbreaker, Flying Taco, Ryder, Rohan, Stratgame, and Turin. A very, very spooky team. But going up against them is Tidsdemonen, Bjorn, Balrain, Shirayuki, and Martinius. We've already, like I said, they 5-0'd Spain, so clearly these guys aren't fucking around either. Now, I was just asked about the Demons of Chaos. Those bans are not done by me. Each team, before the tournament started, was given one ban. One ban that those 5 players decide, fuck this faction, I never want to see it. So, USA 1 banned Demons of Chaos, and the Scandinavian Alliance banned Dwarves. So that varies from team to team. And they picked that for themselves, right? My team, USA 2, we banned Dwarves. So that's up to you. That's not a tournament thing. Like, I didn't ban Demons of Chaos and Dwarves from the players. The players pick one. As for why they're getting banned, they're just very powerful. The more DLCs that come out, the demonic units are getting bigger rosters. And the Demons of Chaos can take any demonic unit from any roster. Meaning, if any of the demonic units are currently broken, the Demons of Chaos have them. So right now, Seekers, Heartseekers, and Fiends from Slaanesh are all crazy strong. The ROR Skull Cannon and the Soul Grinders of Tzeentch are still very strong from those respective factions. The Angels of Decay and Changebringers are very strong from Tzeentch and Nurgle. And the Demons have access to all of that. So it's just, people are having a very hard time dealing with Demons right now. Okay. Any other introduction stuff I need to do? I don't think so. Oh yeah, who are the replays from? Because that will alter my little scorecard up there. So let's see. Scandinavia USA is from USA. That's from Scandinavia. That's from Scandinavia. That's from Scandinavia. That's from Scandinavia. Okay, most of them are from Scandinavia. I'll just have to switch who is where for that one. So, that's fine. The score at the top will always tell you... Scandinavia? I don't know why, but I always have a hard time spelling it. It seems weird to me. The score at the top, the person on the left will always be the green faction in the replay. The person on the right will always be the red faction in the replay. I will switch what team is on what side depending on the replay we are casting. So trust the scorecard if you are ever confused who you are rooting for. Sound good? Sounds good. Scandinavia needs to be a little more centered. Then the USA needs to be a little more centered. Boom. Okay, game 1 was who? Game 1 was Gotrek Starbreaker versus Tidsdemonen. Let's go find it. Oh yeah, all 5 games are played no matter what, so you're not getting any spoilers right now, seeing that there's 5 games played. All 5 games get played no matter what. Here we go. Corn versus Lizardmen. We did see this earlier today on a different stream, but these are very different builds than we saw then. No Scarbrand, instead it's Valkia and Karanak. And on the other side, no Mazdamundi and Shredder. Sorry, Dreadsaurian. It's double Arc of Sotek and Krokgar. Do you already know when the next tournament week games will be cast? I'll cast what I'm given as I have time. Today I am off work. I'm off work every Wednesday. I work 4 10-hour shifts. So I just had a ton of time today, so I scheduled 5 of the world matchups, but I'll probably stream some like, oh, I have all 5 replays, so I'll cast one Friday night. I have all 5 replays, I'll cast one on Saturday. Things like that. But today I had a bunch of time, so I was just like, let's pound them out! But on to the game, on to the focusing thing. Hellforged Bellowers taking half their HP from Krokgar's Hand of the Gods? Or something. That was a lot of damage on those guys. Oh, and an Amber Spear. That's it. The Amber Spear also helped out. Front lineup Marauders, backed up by Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, some Korngors here and there, 2 Minotaurs, Grey Opens, Valkia, and Karanak. On the other side, we have Krokgar on Grimlock. We have an Amber Spear and Flock of Doomcaster. 2 Arcs of Sotek after they got buffed. I do think they are actually pretty good now if you have to clear out infantry. Then we have some Chameleon Skinks, some Feral Cold Ones, and Red Crested Skinks. Skull Cannon still firing over the top, though Khorne is not using this time to just infinitely skirmish. They are getting straight into the matchups. I don't think they liked that they lost half HP off the Hellforged Bellowers. I don't think they wanted to keep going until Hand of the Gods and Amber Spear was off cooldown and then they got murdered. So it looks like Khorne is just going to opt into the fight, even with the Hellforged Bellowers. Minos charging into Feral Cold Ones. They should do very well there, but with Krokgar nearby, Krokgar's probably going to path through his Feral Cold Ones and go get to safety. Meanwhile, the Khorne front line is getting crushed by the terror-causing Arcs of Sotek with their double-stacking poison, really reducing the effectiveness of the Marauders, and Red Crested Skinks are a nasty front line. Karanak is on the hunt, however. He's trying to silence that Skink Priest and stop it from casting Flock of Dooms on any blobs of units. But Karanak is now surrounded by Red Crested Skinks, and Feral Coldens are going to hold him in place. He'll take some damage, but this is mostly trying to buy the Skink space to move around as he needs to. Hellforged Bellowers in melee, regenerating, getting some ammunition back, as Krokgar and the Feral Cold Ones are going to beat the Minotaurs of Khorne, but man, they took a lot of damage doing it. There's no healing here. Nice Amber Spear. There's no healing here for the Lizardmen. They didn't take a Skink Oracle, they didn't take a Life Slalom, they didn't take a Rev Crystal. So Krokgar gets what he gets. Marauder Horsemen charging into melee. A little concerned about that. I don't think that was necessary. And Lizardmen are up on the balance of power. I would agree, though. The Fleshhounds of Khorne summon is going for the Skink Priest. Krokgar is going to try and peel. It's hard for a single entity to stop these Fleshhounds from... Can you imagine this Skink Priest? Alright, no. Really imagine this Skink Priest. He is surrounded by devil dogs from the depths of hell. And you see Krokgar on a T-Rex coming to save you, and you're like, Krokgar! And the dogs are like, oh fuck, it's Krokgar. And he doesn't attack at all. He just runs literally through them and fucks off. He just does his own thing. He doesn't try to help you at all. He just leaves. Why didn't he do an attack animation? He was clearly charging them, but he just never did an animation, so he just walked his dumb ass through them. Oh my god. Alright, he's back in. He's doing good damage. The player is doing the right things. It's just when Krokgar didn't have an animation at all, it looked silly. You keep spelling it wrong? I'll look up how to spell Scandinavia in a second. I tried. I'm sorry. The Fleshhound summon is already defeated, so that was actually pretty impressive from Krokgar. Now Krokgar is trying to peel Karanak away from that caster. Meanwhile, really nice stuff from the Chameleon Skinks poking the Hellforged Bellowers while it fires at the Bastillodon. But one of the Bastillodons is pushed away. by Minotaur's Horn. That is a little concerning. Nice Spirit Slopner getting good damage on the skirmish forces, but the Hellforged Bellower is not having a good time. Does need to get away and get some damage out elsewhere. Karanak is getting sniped by Krokkar. I don't suspect he will be staying alive. Ooh, and this is going to be really bad. Amber Spear onto the Hellforged Bellowers, but I imagine a Hand of the Gods is going to follow it up. So the Hellforged, nice block by the Minotaurs. Intentional or not? I'm going to say it was intentional, even though clearly it wasn't. But yeah, Karanak's dead, so the silence is going to wear off. Krokkar is going to turn, uses Hand of the Gods, and he's going to kill the Hellforged Bellowers, and that's going to get really bad for Khorne. Really, really bad. Ark of Sotek is surrounded by a bunch of Minotaurs, so he's going to die. That is a good play for Khorne, trying to come back in here. Valkia is still pretty healthy, but Krokkar is a bit of a menace if you fight with him straight up. There's the Hand of the Gods. I am correct! I am the most correct! People out there saying, I don't know what's going to happen. I predict the future. I'm a goddamn prophet. Anyway. Hellforged Bellowers is dead. Valkia lands in onto the Skink Priest. Beautiful charge attack. Before she even lands, she did like this spinning spear swipe and hit him. Krokkar is having difficulties figuring out what direction to go to hit Valkia. Pops his buffs. He is going to hop in. Now, Valkia's probably gotten rid of that Beastcaster. I don't know if he rallies at that low of HP. I think he's probably just doomed. But Krokkar is not going to let that go. Deadly Onslaught gives him a ton of charge bonus as he runs downhill into Valkia. He is completely bodying that lady. And she's having a bad time. Minotaurs of Khorne going to fight some Red Crested Skinks, but the Lizardmen are crazy far ahead. They're even getting one Ark of Sotek back over here, and the Skink Priest of Beast somehow does manage to rally. Wouldn't hate for an Amber Spear into these Minotaurs, but army loss is going to take them out. And I think that makes Krokkar 2-0 today. No, Shirayuki, I'm just an idiot. It's Scandinavia. That's how I have it spelled. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted by chat. Chat was distracting me. Okay, sorry, I got a bunch of messages I had to see. Crocky Balboa didn't hear no bell with the turn voice. I can't do the turn voice. How dare you? All right, Tidsdemonen. Good attempt, brother. Good attempt out there. Keep up the hustle. But Gotrek with Krokkar hard carrying actually did get really good value. No joke. For real. Chameleon Skinks did well. Feral Cold Ones did well. Just blocking things. GG. And that is a start for USA. Give USA their point. Bam. And then let's hop over to the Photoshop. Next up is Flying Taco versus Bjorn. Now, I have a word for the wise out there. If you see Flying Taco across from you, and you have this little thing right here, this little one, right? That one that we're all looking at, one. What is the word next to that one? Ban. Okay, you have one ban. Got it? Got it? Understand? Flying Taco over here, ban over there. There are a certain faction of pot-bellied motherfuckers that should not make it onto the battlefield with Flying Taco at their head. Just gonna throw it out there. Maybe don't let that one go. Where is Flying Taco? Okay, you see the part where I said you need to ban the pot-bellied motherfuckers. I'm seeing an awful lot of the pot-bellied motherfuckers right in front of me with Flying Taco right there. That doesn't seem like this is gonna go well. This seems like it's gonna be a bad fucking time. All right, here we go. While it loads in, I do have to be quick. USA 1. I'm switching sides because Taco is a USA player, so for people's confusion, I am making the scoreboards correct. Scandinavia. Scandinavia. I think I did it right. Always ban Ogre. All right. For Bjorn and his Grand Cathay. Now, Bjorn is a very good player, and he often has very creative and off-meta builds. So, I shouldn't doubt him too much, but I'm just so scared of Flying Taco's Ogres. For Bjorn, we have Zhao Ming with Plague of Rust and Flame Breath, Peasant Archers, Celestial Dragon Crossbows, Iron Hail Gunners, the Grace of Ki Yin, and more Peasant Archers with a Zhengdu War Drum in the middle. For Flying Taco and the Ogres, we have Blood Vultures, Golgi's Man-Eaters, and Gorgers in the vanguard, appearing behind the Cathay army. Noblars and Pigback Riders in the front, Saber-Tusk packs, and then we do have a Heaven's Caster with Comet and Thunderbolt, and then one Lead Belcher with some Blood Vultures around. The Flying Taco is getting straight into it. Immediately diving through Golgi's Man-Eaters, disrupting 2 units at once, just trying to stop them. As the Cathay circle shooting box tries to reform lines. Now these Gorgers are going to get shot by Iron Hail Gunners, but already the Iron Hail Gunners are getting disrupted a little bit by more of these Man-Eaters. Taco absolutely saturating the area with mass, and a nice Comet cast. Even though the Grace of Kian tried to dodge it, the explosion damage still did a good amount to them. And this is just a unmitigated disaster, as Taco's Vanguard has completely caught Cathay off guard. Now, Cathay did have a circle formation, so maybe they were kind of ready for it, but they definitely didn't get the shots off they needed to as the Man-Eaters pile into them. Blood Vulture's getting down into the middle. The Slaughtermaster of Heavens is here too, and I just can't imagine a full ranged Cathay build can stop the Ogres once they got into melee. Taco knew exactly what he needed to do here. Right click on the center of the formation and just pile in from every side, as the triple Man-Eater Vanguard was kind of brutal. I imagine Bjorn was expecting maybe like Gorgers maybe to be in the back. Maybe Blood Vultures, they also have Vanguard, but I don't think he was ready for triple armored Man-Eaters come sprinting down from behind and just run his ass off the map. No infantry box. Bjorn's in the chat. What a funny guy. What was my... Spirit and Gork, that's good. That's good. Bjorn, I'm mostly mad at you for letting Taco even play as Ogres. How dare you? It works better in my head. Fair. So the Zhengdu War Drum and Zhao Ming are trying to hold for now. It is pretty much Ogre. Your warning and build-up seemed appropriate. It is appropriate! I know what I'm talking about. Ogres are scary. Flying Taco's scary. Flying Taco plus Ogres, real scary. Alright. Army losses has hit, but the Zhengdu War Drum is Zhengdu War Drumming. Also, look at this. Army losses hit so fast for Zhao Ming. Army losses is not shattering him. Minus 120 is not enough to shatter this man, by the way, because he's like full HP. That was on purpose. You wanted him to go Ogres? Yeah. I acknowledge you wanted him to go Ogres. I disagree. I disagree with allowing this man to play his favorite faction. One of them are decisive victories. No. No. All right, USA 2-0. Good start for them. As Mr. Taco gets his win. Next we have Ryder Rohan versus Bahrain. And Ryder gets to pick 2. I imagine his pick 2 was probably High Elves, Dark Elves, if I know a thing or two about Ryder. And I do. He's a good friend, good compatriot. And a good artist who has a Patreon. That's not right. That's Shirayuki. I'm looking for something else. There we go. Bahrain on Lizards versus Wood Elves? Oh no, I don't know a thing or two. Damn it. Aw. I hate being dumb. Alright, switching back, because Scandinavia is on the left-hand side. I believe all the rest of the games are from the Scandinavia point of view, so I will stop switching them around. But trust the scoreboards. The USA players on the side. Okay. Lizardmen are here, but they don't have Krokgar, so I think they lose. Cold One Spear Riders, Cold Ones, Feral Cold Ones. Oh boy, that is a lot of Cold Ones. Big old Cold One rush. Some Skink cohorts, some Skink skirmishers as well in the front line. Then we have a Beast Slon with Statue of Spite, Flock of Doom, and Banishment. He's going for full damage. On the other side, that's a Blade Storm. Okay. Ryder with a Spellweaver of Dark with only Blade Storm, Blade Wind, sorry, does get a nice 2-for-1. Other than that, we have Eternal Guard, including the Winterheart Guard, a lot of Glade Guards, Starfire Shafts, and Hagbane Tips. I think I was fighting Del Duca recently, and he had a similar build of just all the Glade Guard in the world, and I had a really hard time as Lizards getting onto those things. A couple of Wild Riders, including the Wild Hunters of Kronos, but the Lizardmen are just trying to brute force their way through with bodies. The High Elves currently shooting them quite a lot. I'm noticing that the... Actually, no, never mind. Because I was going to say the Norwegian team really likes a whole bunch of range, but this is USA who now has a bunch of range. So Ryder of Rohan saw Bjorn's build and was like, that looks cool. I'm going to do that. Wild Riders pile onto Cold One Spear Riders, but they're mostly just trying to roadblock while these Glade Guard fire up and over the top. The Slon gets through the front line, but a lot of the Skinks are struggling to do the same. And on the top, we have a big old pile up as Cold One Spear Riders get blocked by Glade Riders and some Eternal Guard, but some of them get through, and some of them get a downhill charge to stop the archers, but the Wild Hunters of Kronos nicely coming in on the side. Ryder has very good control over what's going on with the back line. The Eternal Guard are holding super well against Skinks. It looks like one is finally about to rout, but it might be too late for Lizardmen to do much about it, as the Wild Riders are going to beat the Cold One Spear Riders with all the archer support. These other Cold One Riders charge straight into the jaws of death as a banishment, unfortunately for the Lizardmen, does not go into the Widow formation. It goes out of it, which is pretty rough. Cold One Riders are out. All the archers are still safe. And I put Team USA 1. I gave them a bye round because looking at that roster, I'm like, they're one of the tournament favorites. And so far, they are showing me exactly what I needed to see. Because remember, this Scandinavian team ain't no joke. They 5-0'd Spain. They did very, very well. But Flying Taco, very strong player. Ryder Rohan, very, very strong player. Gotrek Starbreaker, also good. And we still have Stratgame, and we still have Turin. It's not even like, whatever. Easy 3-2 after this point, because Turin and Stratgame are just jobbers. No. It's spoopy. But Ryder is looking well on the path to clinching a 3-0 start for Team USA and guaranteeing that they at least move on to the next round. What the score is afterwards is a bit of a mystery. Wild Hunters of Kronos still sweeping up any remnants of the Lizardmen forces. If we can get a good volley onto the Slon, that'll probably trigger army losses, because enough of the Skinks will just lose hope and start routing, and then losing your Lord will also trigger the bounce power to go down enough that you probably just army loss out. Archers are currently kiting Skink cohorts, getting beast damage out there. They've mostly shot all of the Cold One Riders on that side. Yeah, and they even have a Wild Rider still peeling for them, so the Wood Elves have a bit of safety back there to just do whatever they want. Slon Mage Priest trying to stay alive with his 40% missile resistance, but is not enough, and army losses will hit in a very decisive victory from Ryder Rohan. That's a toughie. Dude, they're good. They're a good team. They're cracked. Bahrain is, Bahrain's actually, these two are both in our faction war coming up. So is Flying Taco. Fuck, I forgot to mention that. Flying Taco is playing Ogres in our faction war. In our faction war, Bahrain... No, Umai is qualified for Chaos Dwarves. Damn it. Bahrain plays a lot of Chaos Dwarves. I imagine Ryder might have banned them, or since he was playing seriously, he didn't take a faction that we all know is struggling, but... Bahrain's a pretty good Chaos Dwarf player. Always enjoy watching him play. Ryder is playing High Elves in our faction war. So is Flying Taco. That's right. Bahrain got close to qualifying, but Imai's clutched it out. They misremembered. USA's up 3. Take you back over to the Photoshop just for clarity's sake. Doom. Next up is Stratgame Shirayuki. Bahrain said he couldn't pick Chaos Dwarves into that pick too. Would have been suicide. Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing. It would have been suicide. I'm just saying he is a very good Chaos Dwarf player. He just didn't. There's not a lot of good opportunities to play Chaos Dwarves right now because they're just a pretty bad faction. I don't blame him at all. Just saying that wasn't his main. All right, there's Shirayuki versus Stratgame. Scandinavia is on the left. We're good to go. That a rogue idol? That a goddamn rogue idol? Okay. All right. Alrighty, Shirayuki on Kislev. Trying to get some momentum back for Scandinavia. At least die with honor. We have the Oath Brothers of Tor. And then 2 Winged Lancers. Kislevite Warriors, Kossars. We have a Streltsy in here. And then a front line of Armored Kossars and Kislevite Warriors. We have an Ice Witch of Ice. With Death Frost and Ice Maiden's Kiss. And that is it for the Kislev forces. Isn't the Rogue Idol a meme? No, it's just very, very niche. If your opponent doesn't have a lot of ranged pressure, the Rogue Idol can clear like infinite infantry. It's pretty bad at dueling, but it can clear infinite infantry. For strat game on this front line are Goblins and Orc Boys. We have a Night Goblin War Boss with Fermented Fungi on foot. We have a Night Goblin Shaman with Curse of the Bad Moon and Vindictive Glare. A Rogue Idol, Ruglin's Armored Orcs, some Black Orcs, the Hammer of Gork Goblin Rocklava, and then Orc Boar Boys and Orc Boar Boy Biggins, Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins on the back line. The Rogue Idol is a meme. It's not a meme in a very few matchups, but I like it. I legitimately like it into Warriors of Chaos because it's very good against Chosen or Aspiring Champions or Sigvald. But that was more of a Warhammer 2 thing than Warhammer 3. So right now, Kislev is outranged, so they have to move up and get into range, and Stratgame is just taking this time to get the Hammer of Gork free damage value as he fires away. You know what it's mean, but also useful? A Cygor. Hey. 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 Codex. Hey. Spoilers. Alright. Kislev getting into range. And Stratgame only has 1 archer unit, so he can't really contest for the ranged fight now that they're at mid-range, so he does need to move up. Already, we have a lot of Vindictive Glare casts, but the overcasts are hurting the Night Goblin Shaman quite a lot, so he'll have to cool it on those. Kislev's front line does have to hold versus these Orc Boys and Goblins. That shouldn't be too hard. They are much more elite than those guys. The problem will be when the Black Orcs get involved. That'll be the strong armor piercing. And another problem is just the amount of greenskins that these Armored Kossars have to hold off. I think they're more worried about greenskins slipping through the gaps rather than like actually dying in melee. Ice Witch is going to need to cycle charge or get some terror routes out there. Oh, and this is a conquest game, so I guess Kislev goes for the point briefly. In comes another Vindictive Glare. Decent damage onto the Ice Witch, just constantly poking her down. Night Goblin Shaman's already gotten 450 values, so he paid for himself. Taco's in the chat. Hey Taco, we watched your game, it was fun. Both Brothers of Tor getting their little blinded debuff onto the Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins and Orc Boys. But the Wing Lancers get caught by Orc Boar Boys and regular Orc Boys, so they'll want to opt out of that fight. That is not a good fight for them. Meanwhile, the ranged units of Kislev are uncontested and firing. First Wa is out. Strat has some Boar Boys AFK on the sides. Does need to get those moving. The Hammer of Gork and Ruglin's Armored Orcs are still firing, but the Rogue Idol has been kept in reserve for far too long, and it's starting to move forward now, but I'm worried it's a little late to the party. It would have been nice to have that thing clearing out Armored Kossars. I guess he is worried about it getting pin-cushioned by shots, but that's what you get for taking a Rogue Idol into Kislev. I don't think it... Okay, when I was saying that Rogue Idol's good versus factions with not a lot of range, I don't think you take it into the faction that has the most hybrid ranged units in the entire game. But it is not a meme. I wouldn't take it here, but we'll see. Both Brothers of Tor peeling off the cavalry, trying to save the Winged Lancers, who have probably overstayed their welcome, honestly. And another Vindictive Glare keeps hurting the Ice Witch Vice. The Rotting Riders are new, Butcherbird. That's fair. The Rotting Riders are new since I've played that matchup. So now Chaos has anti-large armor piercing cav, which they didn't used to have. Yeah. Anyway, Rogue Idol trying to get in here. Is going to clap the ice switch of ice if he can figure out animations. He did. He got a good hit in. Nice job, Rogue Idol. Bounce power is favoring the greenskins right now as Kislev is getting worked on by the black orcs. Still, that catapult's firing. Kislev's not able to get in range of it, but the Hammer of Gork really doesn't do that much damage. It just provides a bit of a debuff, which is kind of nice, but it himself doesn't really do that much damage. Snow Leopard Summon is out to hunt the Rogue Idol a little bit. Oath Brothers Zator get rampaged into goblins, but the Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins are right here. That's it. He's waiting for a counter charge with those. He's trying to get in, but now there's some costly Kislev warriors in his way. There we go. He recharges and he gets back in. Rogue Idol gets a big old clap down. The rampage wears off, but already the damage is done. The Oath Brothers have taken a lot of damage. Another Wah is out as Orc Boarboys charge downhill into Winged Lancers. With a Wah, they have pretty significant melee attack, and then they can leverage their armor piercing versus the Winged Lancers, so that is quite nice. Kislev Warriors trying to get into the back line, trying to shut down anything they can, honestly. But the Rogue Idol still clapping through the Oath Brothers Zator. 700 value. Not terrible, but Kislev doesn't have enough range to really stop it at this point. Like, one Kossar is not enough. So the Greenskin killed enough infantry for it to not be too much of a problem. Orc boys are trying to chase down the Ice Witch of Ice as she runs around, stays safe. The Night Goblin War Boss just watches. He's just over here like, hey, how you doing? I'm not gonna run over and fight that giant ice dragon. That's not my problem. Hammer Gork's been doing work. Right time for the Wah. Yeah, it's doing okay. It just doesn't do that much damage. So, Kislev has the point, but they're very behind on the balance of power. We still have a full health Rogue Idol that could probably, well, ooh, he has lost a third, almost a half. Okay, not full health. You could still probably solo the rest of the army is what I was gonna say. And then you obviously still have more of an army than just a Rogue Idol. You have Ruglin's Armored Orcs providing constant slow DPS, just being annoying. You have the Rampage caster, who is going to cast Rampage as soon as I mentioned it, but the Orc Boarboys are going to terror out, so they can't capitalize on the Rampage. Very unfortunate there for the Greenskins. They would have wanted that extra little bit of damage. More Orc Boarboys trying to clean out this area. Kislevite Warriors stuck fighting the Rogue Idol. They'll trade up. They'll get good damage out, but as soon as that Buyer Blood wears off, they're going to probably terror out. Probably. Another Vindictive Glare, just trying to poke down the Ice Witch. Really good damage onto her. How much have you gotten, little friend? 800 value from just gazing her. And as soon as Buyer Blood wears off, those guys routed. Shocker. Who could have known? Hammer Gork has 2 volleys left. It might be shut down by Winged Lancers, who knows, but it doesn't seem to really matter right now as Ruglin's Armored Boys are fighting back against Kossars. And that is going to be army losses for Kislev. Both armies need more Doom Wheels. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay. Okay, alright, okay. So for Stratgame, his caster did fine. His Orc Boys did fine. Black Orcs paid for themselves almost exactly. Orc Boarboys were where they needed to be. They didn't really impress, but they didn't do too much. Rogue Idol was fine. Poor Scandinavia. It's tough out there. It's tough out there. Being cold. There's still one game left. And it's debatably the most important game. Can Turin complete the 5-0? Turin versus Martinius. Maybe. Possibly. Potentially. Definitely. Definitely not. Not happening. Not in a million years. Martinius is going to kick his ass. It's going to be a shellacking like you've never seen in your entire life. Okay. I have to load up the total the Total Tavern mod pack to get the good maps. There it is. Martinius on the Warriors of Chaos versus Turin on Khorne. And that is a small army. Even with reinforcements, that army's tiny. Is this the other Turin? Yeah. This is that Turin. This is the real Turin. The streamer man. First Warriors of Chaos I'm seeing on Domination. Let's go. And if anybody is thinking about leaving, I would like to remind you that there is one more stream today, and I will set you on a redirect to the final stream of USA 2, which is my team versus Netherlands. So you might be like, well, it's a 4-0, doesn't matter about this game, I'm going to leave. Or after this game looks like it's decided, I'm just going to leave. There is still 5 more games and another matchup to do, if you care. All right, for the starting armies, Martinius brought Enfeebling Foe and the Withering Caster, so double debuffs, no damage. Marauder Horsemasters, summoning in some as well. We have the Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon, Forsaken and Marauder frontline, and 1 Blood Beast of Khorne. On the other side, Fort Turin, Valkia with Spear of Sleipnir, and some Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. The Hellforged Bellowers trying to dodge the Hell Cannon, but it proves to be more difficult than he signed up for. Minotaurs, Khorngors, and he has the Bloodwake Berserkers, Wrathmongers, taking point 1. Hellforged Bellowers with the Withering lowering their armor for the Marauder Horsemasters to get a little bit more damage in, but those Marauder Horsemasters are quickly peeled back by the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, who do have juiced up stats because Khorne gives you some melee buffs. Marauder Horsemasters technically still better in melee overall, but it looks like they don't want to slow down because there's more Marauder Horsemen coming from Turin and Chaos Furies, so Martinius just going to keep his skirmish cav safe as the Hell Cannon keeps firing. Turin fell back with the Hellforged Bellowers. Okay, I was going to say, did he desummon it? That would be ballsy.
The enemy has captured one of your victory points.
Damn right, Grievin. So Turin's going for a triple cap at this point. Warriors of Chaos still hold the center for a little bit, but Turin sees how much ranged Martinius has gone with in the early game, so he's going to try and at least make him pay for it. Decent Skull Cannon shot. Try to make him pay for it, get some early ticks of a point. And the Skull Cannon's firing at the Khorngors, which Turin has tried to hide in the trees to try and mitigate any damage he can take. I'd be more worried about the Bloodwake Berserkers, but I guess maybe the Hell Cannon doesn't do that much damage versus them with their low model count. Curious. Khorne's skirmish cav, not usually as good in a melee fight, but they're trying. Chaos Furies of Khorne with 0 melee defense due to the Enfeebling Foe. Khorne getting some good throwing axes in there. It looks like he's even going to get a nice little rear charge. But I think they're mostly trying to buy time for the Hellforged Bellowers to wait out Soul of Damnation. Now Martinius summons an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch as Valkia dives down, starts to contest the Soul of Damnation, and Blood Beast is going to surround her. This is bold from Turin. He might have to back off. But I think he's just trying to stop the fire, stop the shooting, stop the madness. Damage value is very even so far. Turin is getting an easy lead with a triple cap on the points, so as long as Valkia doesn't get sniped out here, he's going to be fine. But that is a big as long as Valkia doesn't get sniped out here. More Khorngors are summoned as the Hellforged Bellowers get back into range to shoot at Marauder Horsemasters. But just letting the Soul of Damnation fire away. Marauders of Nurgle and Marauders with Great Weapons both summoning in. Valkia is having a really tough time getting to safety, and there's no one near her. Enfeebling Foe is cast from the Book of Secrets, I imagine. No, it's just regular old Enfeebling Foe. Got it. The Hellforged Bellower is still having a bad time. That Hell Cannon is doing great work. People say the new DLC OP shit is OP until you see a Hell Cannon completely murder the Hellforged Bellowers. Oh god! Okay, that looked violent. And the fire is right under it. Actually, I think that probably is going to kill it in another volley, if it gets another volley, but the Hell Cannon's not about to let that happen. Oh, nice! Nice Hellstrider summon from Martinius right in front of Valkia, locks her down with the Exalted Hero and the Blood Beast. The Hellforged Bellowers need to fire one last shot because they are dying. They need to get what damage they can out. And Turin is actually very far behind Martinius here. Martinius clearly came in with a plan and is executing it to perfection. Enfeebling Foe on the Bloodwake Berserkers as they charge in. But still, even with Enfeebling Foe, their stats are so high that they are powering through the Forsaken. Oof. Valkyria does rout. She's very, very close to the side of the map, so she is going to go straight off. Turin still has a triple cap, but he is behind 2-1 in damage value, which I think is going to lead to Martinius slowly taking over the battlefield, and then he's going to triple cap, and I think Turin's going to run out of steam quickly and end up in his spawn. Chaos Furies get the Withering. Nice little tech piece there too, lowering their leadership, which is Fury's biggest problem. When their leadership gets low, they demonic instantly crumble away. Valkyria is going to die soon. Turin really wants her to get off the battlefield, so you get the Lord is fled debuff, not the Lord is dead debuff. Korngors and Minotaurs winning the melee fight for now. I bet Turin is like, thank God, finally a melee fight. Not getting kited all over the damn map. Valkyria still has 200 HP. She's distracting these guys for an awfully long time, which is quite nice. More Korngors are summoned. Looks like Turin is going to make the Warriors of Chaos push him off every single point. And judging by how far behind he is on damage value, I think that's probably smart, where he's just like, I'll see if I can hold the points long enough to win on points, because Martinius doesn't have a bunch of bodies yet. He has some Forsaken and some Hellstriders taking that lower field, but already Korngors are going to go counter it. Other than that, he has pretty wounded Skirmish Cav. He has a Chariot character. He has a Soul of Damnation, so he still has a lot of money locked up in not capturing things. This is a decent strategy here. Yeah, like you can see, Turin is really keeping these victory points safe, knowing that there is last hope, because he's not going to win this, like, traditional damage-wise. It's not going to happen. Bloodwake Berserkers get Book of Secrets, making them weak to fire damage. Nice. He was definitely hoping for a Fate of Buna, but he didn't get it. Is there a loser's bracket? No. No. Too hard to organize and too many teams for a loser's bracket. That would just drive me insane. I had 21 teams sign up for this, and I'm already sweating like a dog, keeping everybody in line. Turin's getting scary high on points, and Martinius is having real measurable issues getting him off of points. The Bloodwake Berserkers are holding for now, enfeebling Foe, lowering their stats enough that the Forsaken gets some decent damage out, and that Soul of Damnation is trying to rain Hellfire. Martinius is getting a good push in now. He's going to take point 3. Point 1 is uncontested, and point 2 is up in the air. Turin is crossing 1,000 tickets as Martinius is stuck at 150. I think if Martinius takes... If he takes a triple cap, this game is over, because I don't think Turin can get back into the game. But Turin's doing a decent job just holding. And he's 2/3 of the way to a victory just by holding. Bloodwake Berserker's still fighting back, but the Forsaken and the Heroes of Tzeentch going to be able to kill him off. Actually, that's just a regular Chaos Lord of Shadows, not of Tzeentch at all. Korngor is slowly losing the cap weight on this point, though. Things are starting to get a little spooky for the Dreadlord himself. Still has point 1, but this is where that, like, running out of steam is coming in. He has 900 supplies left, and he just summoned a Bloodletter, but, like, look at the map. The red health bars are so crazy low. Martinius just has a lot more guys. Turin's charging into some Hellstriders, wants to shut down the Soul of Damnation, but the Hellstriders, not even a summon, just kind of some remnants of Hellstriders are going to stop him in place. Martinius summons out more Marauders, more Forsaken, running straight for point 1. Returns trying to make a last stand. He gets some Fleshhounds out. He can win with a single cap. He can, but it's getting difficult as Martinius is starting to really get that momentum going, summoning in tons of infantry. Forsaken, Marauders, more Forsaken, more Marauders here. So he really invested heavily in range in the early game, but now he's transferring over to just bodies on field, take point, please. In the low ground, Turin tries to hold, kills off 2 Marauders quick with Marauder Horsemen and Fleshhounds, but now with more Forsaken, there's 3 infantry in this area and a Lord. It's going to be hard for a Fleshhound to kill them all. Does he have any more reinforcements coming? Not yet, and he's out of cash. He is going for a bit of a Vanguard play, though, on point 3. Did summon some Bloodletters and Fleshhounds of Khorne over here as a bit of a surprise. And that seems to be working out. He's routing a lot of these infantry units. Now haggard-ass Skirmish Cav with no ammo have to try and stop him, which isn't likely. The Exalted Hero is doing quite well. I'm kind of surprised Turin doesn't have the capture weight to take this back, though. As long as he keeps trading points for points, he can win. But if he ever loses all 3, then he's fucked. Book of Secrets does get a Fate of Buna, so RNG truly favors the Tzeentch Exalted Hero. And Turin's kept that damage value at about 4,000 difference, but there goes the Demonic Instability onto the Exalted Bloodletters. Oh, those are Exalted Bloodletters and you got a Fate of Buna? You lucky, cheeky person. I am very jealous of you getting that, and Turin's gonna throw down a quick Sword of Khorne onto like 3 or 4 units. That should do significant damage. Bam! Does a bit. Not enough, really. And there's the triple cap, so I'm guessing at this point that Turin's not gonna be able to take a point back. I don't think he can get that kind of momentum going. Bloodwake Berserker's still fighting it out, but they're down to 8 models. Having a bad time. Other Flesh Hounds gonna Demonic Instability crumble as they get charged from the front by Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. Ooh, that is gonna be nasty. Because now, if you even summon infantry to try and take the points back, they're gonna get cycle charged by Chaos Knights on their way in. So you have to summon something with some mobility presence that can stop Chaos Knights, but then if you do that, you're wasting, well, not wasting, but you're having a hard time using your resources to take anything. That might be the checkmate move. Turin's Minos coming in, full HP. Everything else he has is either currently routing or so close to dead it might as well be. Chaos Fury's out. EUW friendly streams, yay. Woo! Yeah. That was a good strategy from Martinius. Good early game. The Hell Cannon tech into the Khorne Skull Cannon ROR was really neat. It was winning that duel. I wonder if maybe Turin could have counter-fired it, because it looked like the one time it got a volley onto the Soul of Damnation, it looked like it did a lot of damage. I think 2 volleys could have killed the cannon itself, but I can't tell if Turin was out of range or if he didn't really register that that was going to work that way. I don't know. But I think, like, in hindsight, he maybe should have just prioritized counter-firing the Hell Cannon and hoping for the best. Radiant Ash rated us. What up, Ash's viewers? How was the stream today? I saw it was Nurgle earlier. Not today, but earlier. And then I thought I saw you guys went to Ogres. I don't know what you were playing today. GG, this is over. Yeah, Turin's going to have a really hard time getting anything back. He doesn't have the funds. Doesn't have anything. Looks like Martinius will hold his head high, and Turin's going to throw in the towel. Oh. Oh. GG. Martinius, good win. But Team USA 1 prevailed overall. Don't know why I'm checking the values. Force of habit. Now, before you leave, before you think this is over... Zarina Katerin? Gotcha. Before you leave, before you think this is over, we have one more best of 5. I will be transferring what stream you're currently on. But we're covering the same stuff. It's because that makes the VODs better to watch for people. Scandinavia goes 4-1. Pop over to the desktop. Boom, boom. Martinius gets a dub. Boom. Go to the bracket. So Team America, World Police with 4 versus Scandinavia's 1. And we have USA 2 versus Netherlands to find out who will take on Turin and Flying Taco's team. Between my team and then the Netherlands. Let's see if I can pull us up quick. So y'all get a nice little teaser. Because it's gonna be happening right now. I just gotta redirect you to that stream. Boom. Thing. It's my team! Captain Tealus, me, Incars, Hayseed, Blood Penguin versus Pugnabone, Wicked, Twilight Harbinger, Contrarian Codex, and Bob Dat Builder. It's gonna be our final stream of the day of this marathon of long content. So, if you want to go check that out, you can just hop right over. Otherwise, I'll send you there. Hope things are going fun. Things are going great. Time for the best show? Let's go. Yeah, so I'm redirecting you there. Or you can go yourself. Redirect. Go to World Cup USA 2 versus Netherlands. Bam. Let's do it.